All right, all right, all right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic live stream for that ass today. Sincerely hoped everybody is blessed wherever you are reporting in the world today. This was a video that I had scheduled to do probably on Saturday or something like that. Unfortunately, that did not happen. I ended up switching it up last minute. So I'm going to deliver it to you guys today. If you guys don't come in right now, perfectly fine. Do what you're going to do. You can always catch the replay and the play back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, walking around St. Demessa. It's a nice little area. Like I said, these are the things that I look for when I'm looking for an Airbnb. Definitely have to make sure you have, everything you need downstairs. Everything is within a nice kosher walking distance. There's a lot more to see. We'll see what we can come up with later on. But wherever you are reporting in the world today, maraming salamat sa lahat. Thank you guys for joining the good doc, Dr. Mike TV. I knew she wanted the D by the way she looked at me. Let's go ahead and rip this one off like a band-aid. I knew she wanted the D by the way she looked at me. Now, we could take this topic 110 different directions and 110 different approaches. Give me a split second. Let me open up this chat real quick, and I'll definitely tell you where we're going to address this one when we get to it. Give me a second, guys. Jesus Christ. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I knew she wanted the D by the way she looked at me. Why are expats always lying, people? I really got to figure this out. I don't understand why expats are always lying, okay? Now, let me go ahead and tell you this quick story. Let me go ahead and sell you this quick story so you can pick up what the good doc is putting down. So let's go ahead and rip this one off like a band-aid. Don't plan on keeping you on very long. If there is one thing that I cannot stand, it is a foreigner or an expat who creates and perpetuates lies about how easy it is to get with Filipinas. Okay, there's one thing I can't stand. It's a foreigner or an expat who creates and perpetuates lies about how easy it is to get with Filipinas. They basically make it seem that once you step off the plane, women are just going to flock to you like the proverbial rock star. They make it seem like as soon as you jump off the plane, girls gonna drop their panties and it's just gonna be an all-out, filming. You're gonna have an all-out orgy and the whole nine. But you have those foreigners who do that. Shout out to my boy Earl, Scuba Time. Much love to you, bro. I often say that being a foreigner does give you an advantage, but never have you heard me say or create the falsehood that you don't have to exert any effort to get with any of the women in the Philippines. Never said that. But there is this one guy, not going to say his name, who has been selling and telling lies to these gullible foreigners about how easy it is to get with women in the Philippines, okay? Not going to talk about who the guy is. You don't need to worry about that. So basically, he was trying to sell me one of his stories one time about how he had a threesome or something with these two hot girls and that he was really doing it big in the Philippines and stuff like that. I mean, he was really trying to get me to believe that he was living this all-star lavish lifestyle. You understand? And again, some people need that pat on the back. So, what I do best is I try to call him on his bluff to see if he was going to really show me what he was really about. And what he showed me was a picture of a bunch of girls that he was talking to and all of this. And they were just regular photos now. All right. They were just regular photos. And these were a bunch of photos of girls he claimed to hook up with. Now, the biggest mistake that this man ever made was showing me a picture of a girl that I knew. The biggest mistake that he ever made was showing me a picture of a girl that I personally knew. All right. So I didn't tell him that I knew the girl, of course. But to get more information out of him, I gassed him up. I was like, damn, man, that girl's hot, bro. I said, what did you do to get with her? I mean, how do you know her? Where'd you meet her at? I was just digging to get a little bit of information because that's just what I do. So I gassed him up a little bit. And after he tried to sell me his story, what he did is he asked me, he's like, Mike, when are you going to show me the girls that you were getting with? I said, what? So basically what he tried to do is he asked me about he was like, Doc, when are you going to show me the girls that you hook up with? And I'm like, bro, if you want to see him, I say, you can always look on Patreon. And I laughed at him. I said, because I felt like he was trying to set me up, but that's neither here nor there. So fast forward, I end up talking to the girl and asking her about the guy that was telling me the story. And, she was the liberated type, and she was really open-minded, and she was really open to tell me what really went on. She didn't shy away from the conversation at all. And again, she was cool people. So I ended up listening to her story. She was like, first and foremost, she told me that this man paid a heavy tax to get with her. That was the truth. She told me, I'm sorry, that this guy paid a heavy, heavy, heavy tax to be with her. By that, I mean, he paid a pretty penny to get with her. And she told me the amount, and I almost cried. I swear to God, I almost cried. I was like, man, there is no way in this world he paid that much just to, be with you. But like I said, then she talked about how he wasn't really a nice guy, how she didn't really care for the attitude, the whole nine. You understand? So, she ends up going on this little rant and rave. And, I believed her, but, sometimes, men lie, women lie, but the facts and evidence do not. That's what I got from my boy, the amazing Lucas. If you guys don't know him on YouTube, he's awesome. But like my man says, the women lie, the men lie, but the one thing that doesn't lie is facts and evidence. So the next time I saw the guy, I asked him a question. I asked him, how much did you give her? To hook up with this girl. Because, at the end of the day, we all pay a tax in one way or another. Sometimes it's an expensive tax. Sometimes it's probably a minuscule tax. And the tax could be anything from treating her to something to eat, whatever. We all pay something. That's what I'm saying in general, not just money out of pocket to be with a girl, okay? And the thing is, he paused for a minute. Like, he didn't expect me to ask the question, how much money did you give her? He didn't expect that. And then after a while, it took him about a minute or so, he stammered a little bit. And after a while, he came up with a number that was absolutely nowhere near the number that the girl told me, right? So I asked him again. I said, are you sure, bro? I said, because sometimes, you don't have to be ashamed of it with me. If you paid a little extra, I said, it's okay. Ain't nobody going to judge you. This is the judgment-free zone, like Anytime Fitness. Not Anytime Fitness. Is that Anytime Fitness? Nah. What is it? The judgment-free zone? Whatever that gym is. I forgot. Anyways, Planet Fitness. I'm sorry. This is the no judgment zone. So I sat there and listened to the dude tell his story and sell his story to me again. And then I asked him, I'm like, bruh, I was like, for somebody who got with this girl and you claim to do all of these things with these girls, you don't have any proof or evidence. Now, again, I'm just another expat. You have no reason to prove anything to me. But I kind of feel like if you're going to gas me up or you're going to gas yourself up and make yourself feel as if you are this big bad booty daddy, like my man Scott Steiner, for any of you guys who watch wrestling, they used to call him the big bad booty daddy. It was funny. But anyways, if you are this person, I would think that you would be able to prove that you are this person. I never really seen him in pictures with any of these ladies. Like, at the very least, show me a picture of you and her together. Show me something. But overall, he's sitting here trying to sell and tell these lies about what he did and how he was doing it. And ultimately, it kind of made me feel a certain kind of way. You understand? Because I know there's a lot of guys out there who will believe him for saying it. Me, I can call your bluff in a minute. Because at the end of the day, I know probably half the women you probably hit up on anyways. Remember, especially if it's in Davao City. Don't think for 1 second you're going to come to Davao City and I'm not going to know somebody who knows somebody who might know somebody that you're, the girl that you're talking to. So, he tries to go on and on and on and on and on with his story, basically doing his best. The dude was really putting forth and exerting a lot of effort to convince me that this is really gonna happen. And I'm like, this is really what happened. And I kind of gave up, bruh. You know how when I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do it all the time. If I know that you're really trying to sell me something that is complete BS, I'll shut off in the middle of the conversation. Like, I'll go into autopilot and I'll answer. I'll be like, word, oh, really? That's cool. And those are the answers you'll get from me. When I'm shut down, I'm not asking questions because I could care less about what comes out of your mouth after that. But again, when I say I knew she wanted the D by the way she looked at me, I'm basically saying that some foreigners have it in their mind that if Filipinos look at them a certain kind of way, automatically that girl wants them, number one. Number two, if they do happen to get with them, they kind of sort of embellish the story a little bit. And I've learned that over time. And I want my fellow foreigners, my fellow foreigner men, my fellow expats to come to the country with a clear and open mind, because I'm telling you right now, if there's anything that I could tell you, if there's anything that I could sell to you today for free, if there's anything I could sell you for free, foreigners lie, expats lie all the time. I mean, it's very rare that you come across one person that is legit and real about the stories that they tell. And the reason that I say that is this. The reason why I say those types of foreigners are liars is because if you was really getting it the way that you are, or the way that you're trying to show me or tell me that you're doing it, you wouldn't tell anybody. You know what I'm saying? You would kind of keep that to yourself. You don't have to, do what you have to do to get this proverbial pat on the back and, yeah, bro, you're doing a good job. Like, if you need that from people, I'm telling you right now, you're in the wrong business, bro. I say, because none of these guys give two shits of a damn about the girls you hooking up with. Nobody gives two shits and a damn about who you talking to or who you're dealing with. Because at the end of the day, most of the foreigners in the country are doing it up themselves. But it's the guys that haven't been to the Philippines yet. It's the guys that are watching these YouTube videos. It's the guys that are listening to these foreigners sell these stories that basically give me this cause for concern. Because I'm telling you, these guys are gullible, man. I've met some gullible foreigners. And again, if you feel like that person has no reason to lie to you, shout out to my boy Alaskan Whiskey. What's good with you, brother? If you feel like these people have no reason to lie to you, then you're going to sit there and soak up every single thing that they're going to tell you. Again, there's never been one time in a YouTube video ever where I've ever told you that you're going to get with these girls easy. Not one time have you ever heard me say that. Not one time have you ever heard me sell that story to you. I've always told you, I mean, as long as you present yourself in a nice manner, blah, 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 whoop-de-doo, I don't have to go through the standard answer that I would give you. The only time my answer changes is if you put me in a situation or make it a situational. I have to do it based on a situation, like a case study. That's the only way my answers actually differentiate from my standard. But when you have these guys who are basically coming to the Philippines and basically telling other foreigners that haven't been there yet that it's just this amazing place and all of these girls fall, to their knees trying to be with you, it makes me laugh, and it is a cause for concern. And the reason that is the biggest cause for concern is this. They come to the country, they hear what other people are saying, they believe what these people are saying, basically looking at one person's video or, dealing with one person one-on-one. Then after that, they realize that it's not that easy. Then they come around and they get scammed, and they don't talk about all of the other stuff that may happen. What ends up happening, they get scammed, taken advantage of in one way or another. And then that's when you got these guys coming out with these YouTube videos about why you should never date a Filipina. All Filipinas are scammers. All Filipinas are gold diggers. All Filipinas are this. All Filipinas are that. And it happens because you come through with a preconceived notion or a preconceived thought process that was probably instilled in you because you watched somebody who really was just trying to sell you a dream. It's no different than my boy HT Logistics in these trucking videos. He's like, you hear about guys talking about making all of this money doing trucks, and in reality, the numbers that they're giving you are inflated. No different than the number of women that these guys claim to sleep with. I can almost tell you those numbers are probably inflated. And if they're not inflated, they were all paid for, no doubt in my mind. If not all of them, at least 90% of them were paid for. But they don't tell you that. You understand? That's what pisses me off. They don't tell you about the money they got to pay to get with these women, do they? Everybody wants to sell this dream to you. All of these foreigners and these expats want to sell this dream to you like, bruh, man, come out to the Philippines, man. All these girls want you. Yeah, they want you probably because you have money. We've had that conversation before. And the girls that you're probably with are probably looking at you because you got money. And if you're spending money, I can't find any woman in the Philippines that would decline you. I mean, the only girls that would probably decline you are girls that really don't need your money. You understand? We're talking about the upper echelon. Even then, I mean, hell, who knows? But again, the only thing that I cannot stand about these average foreigners is the lies that they choose to sell and tell to these gullible expats who have never been to the country before. Again, you can say, look, I knew she wanted the D by the way she looked at me. You understand? You start out with that line of process or that line of thought, and then it kind of embellishes into something that was something you didn't even ask for. I don't know, man. These guys must need a pat on the back, man. They must need a pat on the back. And if they need it, there are a couple of people who are willing to give it to them. And that's just my thoughts, people. First things first, I know you guys aren't stupid, okay? I know you guys are relatively a smart group of individuals, and I know that you don't believe everything that you hear and or see in YouTube videos. I know you don't. And that goes for both the good and the bad. About people who hype up Filipinas and all of this stuff and have nothing bad to say, to the guys who have nothing good to say about Filipinas and all of that stuff. You're pretty much a general. I think for the most part, you guys are generally and genuinely good about being able to cipher between what is real and what is fake. But for those that do not, for those that have no idea, for those that are recently divorced, for those that haven't gotten a passport yet, MD, for those that haven't got there yet, all they do is live vicariously through others. And when they do that, sometimes they live vicariously through the wrong one. I feel like the person who hollers the loudest is probably the weakest. Somebody told me that, and it stuck with me. Somebody said the loudest person in the room is probably the weakest person in the room. And that's because they need the attention. That's because they need the pat on the back. That's because they need the admiration of everybody in the room to convince them that they're doing a good job. They need people to say, oh, man, look at this girl that I was with last night. Those types of guys. The guys that literally have to show and post everything about what they do. Not necessarily on YouTube, but in life in general. They have to show everybody what they're doing. Facebook page, I've told you a story about that a long time ago. And from there, it's hard for me to try to figure out a way to bring people back to reality. I can only hope that deep down in my loins and in my heart that these individuals can know what to believe and what not to believe. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes that is not the case, people. We have individuals who are really, really, really coming into their own, number one. But coming into their own based off of what they've heard in other videos that are basically falsifying information. You know what I'm saying? That's just my thoughts right now. I appreciate y'all coming through and showing love to the individuals called the good Dr. Mike TV. I see we got 29 watching. I appreciate all 29 of you coming through and showing love to the good doc. Y'all know the rules. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and de-stress that like button. And wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. All right. So showing love to my boy Earl Owen, Scuba Time. Much love to you guys. Terry Edwards, appreciate you. My man too, Scuba Time says, I don't like expats making us look bad. I respect people. There are so many out there that make us look bad. It's sad. And these people, these individuals that I speak of are notoriously known for doing everything that you would hope an expat wouldn't do. I kind of feel like it makes us as foreigners in the country work a little bit harder. So, yeah, noted. Shout out to my boy Quentin Willis. I appreciate you coming through and showing love. Reggie Coleman, my boy Reggie Dollars was good. Smooth Riffs, I see you, family. My man Reggie Coleman says, so this dude was tricking and he was tricking to get with her. You damn right he was getting it. You had to come out of pocket for it. He had to come out of pocket for it. And the problem is, and this is the truth, I said it before, I'll say it again. A lot of these guys that you see in these videos, a lot of these guys that you see making videos with beautiful women, a lot of these guys that you see next to a bunch of different women and stuff like that, they're paying, most of them are paying for that. I'm not going to say they're paying for 100% of them. I mean, you might get lucky just to get on a date with one and you just so happen to get the camera out and she just so happens to be there. But 99.9% of the time, these women that you see in these videos next to these guys, if it's not the same one, they're being paid for, bruh. There's no way in this world that you can rinse and recycle Filipinas that easy, number one. Because first of all, many of you may know this. Shout out to my boy San Juan. We had a great conversation in email the other day where he was talking about he tried to move to another place and this girl followed him and found out where he was, found his condo and all of that stuff. The same rules apply, ladies and gentlemen. Same rules apply. You think you could just rinse and wash Filipinas and get rid of them that easy? You're sadly mistaken, bro. You are sadly mistaken. If that girl catches any type of feelings for you, she'll find out where you are. She'll find out what you're doing and find out who you're doing it with. All they got to do is use the hotline. You know, Filipinos, man, they got that. They got this. What they call it? I don't know what they call it or what's the best way to put it, but you know, everybody knows everybody in the Philippines. They'll holler at somebody who will holler at somebody, and they'll find your location and they'll get at you. So for me to think that you could be in videos with multiple women and she'll never find out, or you know, you can rinse and recycle Filipinas like it's nothing, sadly mistaken, my friend. I try to encourage people that that is not actual and factual. You're not just going to run through women like that unless you coming out of pocket for it. And if that's what you want to do, so be it. That's not my problem. That is not what I do personally. I don't stand between what a man does with his money. That's his money. He could do as he pleases. But I could almost tell you and guarantee you there are better ways to go about it. You understand? That's all it is. But hey, much love to my boy Frederick Mason from the great state of North Kakalaki. NY Mets fan was good, MD. I'm glad you're enjoying the topic. Hey, Miss, I want to say her name is Antal. I am not going to say that wrong. I hope not. I know who you are. Thank you. But you say first impressions never last. Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, does first impressions really last or they never last? I kind of felt like a Filipina who decided, ooh, you ugly when she sees you. She ain't gonna give you the time of day. Personally, I mean, but again, if a Filipina's first impression of you is that she doesn't find you to be attractive, I kind of feel like she won't give you a chance. But maybe not. Alaskan Whiskey, I hope you're enjoying the topic, my friend. Jedi, I'm somewhere near Manila. Yes. DE, what's good with your family? My boy Reggie says that sounds like some beta male stuff. Beta males have to validate themselves on the women that they get. 100%, bro. 100%. Jedi says the reality is a lot of Filipino girls will not give you a second look, especially if they are OFWs or have a good job there. Facts. They don't need you. Trust me. He said too much BS floating around by these so-called expats, and it's making these people believe that this is actually factual. That's what makes me upset. That's what has me in my feelings. The fact that these guys are selling these lies. The fact that they selling these lies got me feeling a certain kind of way because I know it's not true. And somebody has to speak out and tell them, bruh, that's not the way it is. Not the way that it's going to be. Not the way that it always will be. I'm not going to say that being a foreigner doesn't provide you a certain advantage at times. That's what I will say. You know, it does make it easier for you to be able to converse with Filipinos sometimes because a lot of them are intrigued by foreigners overall. But that don't mean you're going to get it. You understand? I try to make sure that I throw that in there, but it just doesn't seem like that goes through or it processes. I will never say anything that will deter a person from coming to the country. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, these women are easy, so you should come here. They hard, you shouldn't go there. Because again, it depends on whether she likes you or not. Again, I can tell you right now, within the first 30 seconds, maybe a minute of that Filipina meeting you when you starting the conversation with her, she will know if she will give it to you or not. I say that's the same with all women, but I like to use Filipinas because that's kind of what I work with. They know in the first 30 seconds if they're willing to give you even a remotely bit of their time. I've been declined phone numbers a lot. Okay, Doc's not the prettiest dude on the planet. I know. Like I said, I'm tall, dark, and handsome, bald. I got it. I mean, but sometimes I'm not every girl's cup of tea. I've been declined many a times. I will never tell you that every girl that I talk to, I got their phone number and I hooked up with, because that would be a lie. But if you ask some of these foreigner expat guys, they'll tell you that their closing rate or their conversion rate is extremely high. Like, I got with that girl yesterday, man. And then 2 weeks or 2 days later, I'm hooking up with her sister, or I'm hooking up with her friend or whatever. You can probably hook up with anybody you want to as long as you're paying for it. That's the rule of the game. The problem is that is what part of it, that is the information that they leave out of the conversation. That's what pisses me off the most. They leave that part out of the situation. They talk about how many girls they're bagging and getting with, right? But they always seem to leave that intricate detail out of the conversation. They never tell you how much they paid for it, or they never even tell you that they paid for it at all. So now you're thinking you can get it over here golden and you ain't got to come out of pocket for it. Then you realize you got to come out of pocket for it. Then what? Now all of a sudden you're like, damn, man, this is the reality right here. This is the reality that is behind this facade that these people are trying to perpetuate, you know? My man MD says you got to get your passport and go see for yourself. True, I don't think it's hard for a foreigner, but you still have to put in some work, even if it's minimal work. Even if it's minimum work, got to get it right, just a little bit. Even if it's a little bit, you got to put in some work. My boy Reggie says, Doc, someone definitely rubbed you the wrong way. Somebody said some things that got me in my feelings, bro. I'm like, dude, why I gotta be this way? And no, see, let me tell you the truth. This is what gets me, and I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be right with this one. The problem that I have with this is when people come to me to confirm it or deny it. That's what gets me really in my feelings about some shit. So, for example, they'll hear something one place, and thank God that they trust me enough and they trust and value my opinion to give them true and honest answers. I appreciate that. So what happened was this guy, aside from the story I told, I had this individual hit me up in an email. He was like, Doc, I want you to watch something for me, and I want you to, tell me what you think. Because he was really believing everything that this guy was saying. And I told him, I said, some of what he said has some validity, but a lot of what he said is just BS and fluffery. He's just trying to convince you to come do this and come do that, because he was trying to sell something, of course, in the video. He was trying to convince you to buy whatever he was selling, and also trying to convince you that you're going to have this dream lavish life in the Philippines and all of that stuff, right? So he comes to confirm with me. I'll watch the video. I won't show you the video. It was a Facebook video. And I was speechless to the point where I was like, bruh, if every man believed what this man was trying to sell, the state of mind of your average expat, if you think about it right now, your average expat state of mind is really jacked up. This would amplify it times 10. You understand? If you were listening to the nonsense that this person was talking about, it would definitely make you feel not disgusted, but it would definitely make you feel away being a foreigner and an expat who has been there and done that. That's all it was. But we live and we learn, people. My boy Reggie Coleman said I was getting ready to say that she was looking at him because he was flashing money and she took advantage of you, but he's not going to brag and tell you about that. Exactly. These are what these people fail to mention. And it wasn't so much that he was bragging about how much money he had. I think he might have mentioned that to the girl, kind of kept him in his feelings, but what can we do? I just let the man crash and burn himself. For sure, Jedi, the loudest noise comes from empty vessels. Exactly. JC Travels, what's good? He says Asian women ain't nothing compared to Colombian women. Okay. Now, JC, I'm not gonna lie, my G. I haven't been to Colombia yet, but I really, really want to go. The only problem that I'm having right now with even remotely going to Colombia, besides the fact that I'm currently not a man that is able to make that decision, y'all know my situation, all right? Besides the fact of my current situation, the reason I haven't been to Colombia is a lot of people are telling me that it's played out by now. But the funny thing is, a lot of people say that about the Philippines too. And I wanted to focus on this just for a quick second. I mean, we'll get back to the topic, but we have these individuals that are saying, oh, the DR's played out, Brazil's played out, the Philippines are played out. But let me say this to you. Let's say, for example, you are a foreigner who has never been to the DR before. How will you know that it is played out if it's the first time you've ever been there? So it's almost like me saying, oh, y'all don't come to the Philippines. It's not like it was before. If you've never been to the Philippines before, how can you actually know if it's played out or if it's, if it's not what it used to be, if you don't know what it used to be before the time that you actually went there? So for me to go to the DR is just going to be another experience for me. I've never been there. I have no preconceived notions about it. I've watched videos about people saying, oh, it's a nice place. You should check out this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking about doing it. I'm not going to lie. Dominican Republic women in the Dominican Republic are very thick. I mean, if you like if you like them like that, little thickness, little thicker than a Snicker, then I think the DR is the place to go. You're not going to get it like that in Asia. So I understand the pros and cons of each. But again, you have those that tell you, don't go to the DR because it's not like it used to be. But if I don't know what it used to be like, then I have nothing to compare it to. So to me, when you compare Asia and the DR, it is a matter of personal choice. And again, everybody's personal choice is always, going to be what it's going to be. And again, like I said, I'm not against going to Thailand, and I'm damn sure not against going to the Dominican Republic. But that'll be a trip that I will never tell anybody about. I'm not even sure if I can make a video about it, but if I do, y'all will figure it out. But again, like I said, it is a matter of preference. And JC, I appreciate you coming through, bro. My boy Gogo, who wants to change his name to something synonymous, whatever it is. He says, I told you that the doctor, but also from the movie American Gangster. You did? I know somebody told me that. It was you? Appreciate it. Scuba Tom says, I got a condo by SM Mall in Davao for February. Is that a good area? Scuba Tom, yes. That's one oasis. That's a very good area. You have your malls nearby. And again, it depends on your activities. Now, the funny thing is, if you're thinking about scuba diving, you're going to probably go to Samal Island for sure. I know that you and Geo have a plan to hook up. But yeah, there's a scuba place in Satsa Wharf. I want to tell you, WARF, Satsa Wharf or something like that. You go there, they have like a place where you can sign up to do scuba diving, and you could do like this whole island hopping thing. And it's pretty awesome. But the area overall, Scuba Time, very good area, bro. Gogo says the loudest person in the room is the weakest in the room. Just don't say that line to a bar girl. You will destroy the fun. I will not. If you're in a bar, you're in there for a particular purpose. I do not have anything to say for or against it. Shout out to my boy Edward Crandell. Appreciate you coming through. Jedi says he prefers Asian women. I think Asian women are awesome. But then again, I've never been with a Colombian chick. I've never been with a girl from the DR. So I don't know if I prefer Asian women over these women. But if I had to go out on a limb, I will say this. Even if I've never been there, from what I've heard, I know I'm not spreading rumors, but from what I heard, I kind of feel like, just me only, my only opinion, I kind of feel like I have a better chance of getting a good one in Asia than probably the DR, because I kind of heard that they super money hungry. And some people would say that about Filipinas too, and I don't believe that to be accurate because I know the women, but I kind of feel like you have at least a 50-50 chance of getting with a chick that'll be with you. Yes, because you are stable, not necessarily because you have money, but because you're stable. But because they might actually love you. Trying to find love in the DR seems like it might be hard. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Somebody tell me if I'm right or wrong. Let me know. DE says the story of the 2-week millionaire in the Philippines. Oh, and they be selling them dreams, bruh. They be writing pamphlets and shit. They be handing out the pamphlets about their 2-week millionaire trip, and they never tell you the money that they spent on the back end. They never do that. And I never understood why. Never understood why. Reggie said it's called Telefilipino. There you go. I'm telling you, bro, they will find out where you are. So for you to rinse and repeat the situation with Filipinas, it doesn't work that way. Especially if she caught feelings or she thinks that there's actually potential in a relationship with you. Trust me, you can't tell me that you're going to be able to get away from that girl that quick and try to run the same game in the same area. You got to literally leave islands. Come on now. I know I'm not the only one that has seen people leave complete islands just to go get with other girls. And they have to, because Filipinas know everybody. Like my man calls it, Telefilipino. JC Travels, man, I appreciate you supporting the cause, bro. Matter of fact, I wish that I could go to the DR with you, man. I think we could turn up. I need to go to the DR with somebody who's been to the DR. I don't want to go by myself. I could go by myself, but I would rather go with somebody. I got to go with HT, man. If me and HT ever go on a trip, man, I want to go with him because he's been there, so he knows it. And I think my man's Spanish is real good, so I need to go with somebody who got that good Spanish and make it happen. But JC, I appreciate you, bro. We should try to see if we could turn that up. Because I want to go. I'm just honestly not scared to go by myself, but at least it's good to go with somebody who knows the landscape. That's all it is. But JC, I appreciate you supporting the cause, bro. Oh man, Trick love the kids. Anyways, I see you guys talking to each other, so I'm skipping comments. Don't be mad at me. My man MD says, I love the Philippines, but it's not always what these expats are telling us on YouTube. It's 100% not what these people try to tell and sell you on YouTube. I try my best. I do. I try my best to be realistic in my approach to topics. Again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Before I went back to the Philippines for season 1 of Philippines Relived, shout out to my boy Rob 100. I don't know where Rob is, but Rob told me that he started to see a change in my videos and a change in my content. He was like, before you went to the Philippines, you were like making it flowery and trying to puff everybody up, or trying to make it seem like the best place on earth. And at the time, to me, being back in the United States, not really liking my life in the United States. I mean, it's cool. I got family here, so much love. But for me, reminiscing and missing about the times that I had in the Philippines, I was talking about all of the good memories that I had and all of the good things that I remembered. But it was coming off as if there was nothing bad about the Philippines that you'll ever endure. Then when I got back, I think the first videos I talked about things, you guys, if you go to the playlist about Philippines Relive Season 1, I started a video. I did a video about things that I noticed since I've been back in the Philippines, and I talked about the aggressiveness of beggars. I talked about all kinds of shit. And that was when my thought process changed, because after a while I realized, bro, I can't sit there and sell this BS to people and not give them the reality of what's going on. And these expats who do that on YouTube are probably the worst of their kind. Again, I say no names and place no blame. I'm just saying, bro, you got to be able to do something better than that. That's all I'm gonna say. You gotta be able to do better. That's it. Shout out to my boy Eddie Jackson. Appreciate you. He says this title could easily be a rap verse. MC Dr. Mike in the house. You know me, I like to rhyme. That's my whole bid, man. I always like to do things that rhyme. My man JC says if your Spanish is decent, then you'll have a great time. I need to work on it. My Spanish was horrible. But you said, oh, you can touch down in DR without a return ticket. That's awesome. You know what? I have a plan to go to Japan. I want to go to Japan. Did you know that you can get a 3-month visa? Like when you first touch down in Japan, you can stay there for 3 months without having to renew your visa. I thought that was awesome. I can stay and live in that country for 3 months without problem, without having to renew my shit. Yes, sir. I'm all over that. My man says foreigners are not so special in the Philippines. You need some game unless you're paying for it. Like I said, a lot of these guys have it in their head that they're going to sell you the fact that they get all these girls, but they're not telling you that you have to pay for it. That is my only issue with most of these situations. A lot of these dudes are telling me, and I'm just listening in because the conversation is interesting as always, something to laugh about. But the way they try to sell these dreams to these foreigners, I can't get with that program. And you're right, Go. I admit, man, the Philippines, you're not so special as you once used to be in the Philippines. Like I said, you do have an advantage. You do have an advantage. To an extent, you have an advantage just because, you are a foreigner. But that's kind of where it begins and ends. Just a little bit. It's kind of where it begins and ends. MD says he'd take a hard pass on the DR. He said, I'll take a hard pass on the DR, but Colombia would be nice. Okay. Maybe we should do Colombia then. I thought about going to El Salvador. I thought about going to a lot of these places that people don't talk about because it just seems like, these are like, what is it? Bolivia and all, not Bolivia. Is it Bolivia? I don't know. And there's a lot of places that don't get a lot of credit. Argentina, like I said, El Salvador, Paraguay and places like that. Uruguay. Sorry. Got to get my words right. There are places that you don't hear a lot about that I'm definitely sure be popping, but everybody wants to be, where everybody hears about, like I said, DR and the whole nine. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to expand my horizons. And if I'm going to South America, I think I would definitely try Colombia over the DR. But then again, I kind of feel like going to the DR is a rite of passage. You feel me? Like I tell people who come to the Philippines, going to Angeles City, and I say this jokingly, okay? This is not serious. I kind of tell people that when you go to the Philippines, you have to go through Angeles City. It's a rite of passage. Once you've been there, you've done that. You can get it off your bucket list because a lot of people talk about it like it's the greatest place on earth. on earth, but it's just one big cesspool, if you ask me. But a lot of people are trying to sell that dream that Angeles is the place. I mean, when you start making it that specific, it makes my feelings hurt, but it is what it is. Yes, go right. Most of the areas in the Philippines, you don't have a lot of advantages, especially in the city areas like Manila. 100% correct. Earl Owens, you ain't never lied, bro. DR women be thicker than peanut butter. I'm telling you, man. I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for it. I do want to take the trip. Y'all think I'm joking? I want to go. It's either gonna be Colombia or the DR. One of the two. Can't front. And if JC, I'm gonna take JC at his word when the homie says DR imports from Colombia. I'm gonna take you at your word, bro. Reggie Coleman says it's not a country out there if you have not been there. It's not right. He said is not a country out there if you have not been there that's not played out. Right. I feel you. I know what you're trying to say. That's what I say, man. I mean, how can you tell me something's played out if I've never been there? You know? So again, yeah, that's the way I feel. Jedi says plenty of thick ones in the Philippines. I like them skinny, each to their own. Like I said, yeah, there is thick Filipinos too. Like I said, I agree. I mean, but if you like them extremely thick, I'm talking about looking like two giant basketballs in that pit. Yeah, I think you're gonna find that more. I'm sorry, let me say you would likely find that more in the DR and Colombia and places like that than you would find in the Philippines, of course. I see we got 36 watching. I appreciate all 36 of y'all coming through and showing love to the good doc. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up on the video, man. Make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it. Most definitely has to have it. All right. With that being said, if you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, good doc is happy that you come through. Spend just a little bit of time with him today. Nayon then back to our regularly scheduled programming. If you guys don't know, I could do live streams with different topics every night, and them topics are going to be awesome. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because I go hard and I go harder. It's just the way it's going to be. All right. I got to impress my people. Tommy's Philippine Journey was good. He says, you never let them know how much you have. Always say you make enough to get by. 100%. But when you're trying to brag and when you're trying to be that type of foreigner, that advice goes in one ear and out the other. Jedi, yes, I would relay that to others too, but it just doesn't work. Go. No, I'm in a part of Manila still. Doc's gonna do the world tour before he makes it to Davao City, guys. So you have a little bit of time before I get there. My man MD says, do the women in DR even like black guys? I think they do. He said, I've heard a lot of crazy things about that place. Just curious. JC, when you touch down in the Philippines, bruh, whenever you make that trip, email me. We can exchange numbers. We'll do what we got to do. All right. Shout out to my boy Rain, man. What's good? My man DR says, better not go meet the family or you're locked in, already married. Okay. Thank you. That is noted. I'll make sure I don't do that. My man Terry Edwards says Philippines is where dreams come true. I cannot deny that because I'm a big advocate for my place, but I'm not going to sit there and overlook other places too. Y'all know better than that. Terry says, if you are a foreigner, the girls will be all over you and you can live like a king for $1,000 a month. True that. You can definitely live a good life for $1,000 a month. My man MD says, have you heard of that show in the Philippines, Raffy Tofo? Oh my God, Raffy Tofo is the best show on God's green earth. If you guys have not heard of Raffy Tofo, go to his YouTube channel. Raffy Tofo, I don't know, Tofo, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. My girlfriend was doing something the other day, and she was doing a list of the top 5 or top 10 YouTubers in the Philippines, you know, based on how much money they bring in. Raffy brings in a lot of money. Raffy is the most scandalous dude on all of YouTube, man. He's like what Jerry Springer used to be back in the 90s. That's what Raffy Tufo is to me. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, Raffy Tufo is like that guy. I love that guy. And he is a show that brings on people who have been scammed and stuff like that. You're right. I love the show look for him on YouTube. Unfortunately, if you don't speak any Filipino or Tagalog or anything, you're going to be lost. I'm pretty sure some of the shows have some subtitles. For the shows that I could not pick up on 100%, my girl explained to me what was happening. But if you guys remember a while ago, I did some live streams about these guys getting taken for like millions and millions of pesos. These Korean guys getting taken by these Filipinos for millions and millions of pesos. I got that story from Raffy Toffel. That guy is like the Jerry Springer of the Philippines. He's awesome. He brings the women on, everybody who has a story to tell. He brings them on the show and he tries to help them out. You know, I don't think he's an attorney, but he something like that. But he's a good show. You guys should check him out on YouTube. Scuba Time says, I'm scared to date in the Philippines, being I am not ready to settle down for a while. I want to travel for a while before thinking about settling down. Always a good thought, my brother. Always a good thought. Always a good thought, Scuba Time. I think that how can I say this? I mean, Scuba Time, let me ask you a question though, because you tell me you're not interested in dating because you're gonna have to settle down. So, is your whole? I mean, most people when they travel, they have some intent for women. I mean, they kind of make time for women in their travels. Are you basically at that point in your life where you don't have any interest in really dating at all, or even trying to entertain any females at all? So you just go to a country, you go see the sights and sounds, enjoy yourself, and then you leave? Or are you open to the idea of, you know, possibly having some female companionship? You know, that's kind of what I want to ask. Because even if you date a Filipina, you don't necessarily have to focus on the idea of settling down. Again, I encourage dating around because it's what people do. You know, it's what people do. So it ain't nothing against just dating around and meeting good people, positive people. Always good. Always good. Yes, Jedi, I did hear Japan was expensive. I was in the airport and I was looking at prices. I was like, but again, it's the airport, so you can't really compare. My man Edward Crandall says the DR has freelancer nightclubs just like in the Philippines. Also, most of the strip clubs are actually brothels. They line up and you pick them. Like I said, for your sexpat foreigners, that makes life so much easier. JC says he spent 4 months in Paraguay. He said they love us out there. Not, what did you say? He said not a lot of foreigners. Like I said, man, if I'm gonna go to places, I want to go to places where there aren't a lot of us. That's the only way that I could say it. Like I said, El Salvador, Uruguay, Paraguay, places like that. I mean, you hear about the Ukraine and stuff like that, but I'm not much. That hasn't really crossed my mind as a place that I would have gone yet. Not quite yet, but he wants curved, not fat. Hey, man, all these Filipinos are not fat, but most of them probably are considered to be fat in one way or another. My boy Zesty, what's good with you? He says, just travel around the Philippines, guys. Don't waste time with ladies unless you got the protection. Yeah, true. Paraguay does sound like a win to me. I told you, man, Paraguay and places like that are definitely on my list because these are the places that foreigners don't go. If I'm going to travel somewhere, I want to travel where foreigners don't likely go. Like I said, Argentina, El Salvador, you know, places that don't get the bragging rights that they deserve. You know, you have your DRs that are probably likely becoming a little bit more expensive because foreigners are coming in. A lot of people can say the same about the Philippines because of the foreign influx of foreigners coming in to the country or migrating or navigating their way into the country. It's becoming a little bit more expensive. Yes or no? And I can say that compared from where, you know, I used to pay for certain things in the past to what I pay for them now. I can say that. And I'm not going to say it's because of foreigners. It's just economics 101. But we can't overlook the fact that being a traveler's destination now, or having these eighth wonders of the world, the eighth wonder or the ninth wonder in you know, Puerto Princesa, in those areas out there in Palawan, you know, we can't overlook the fact that that definitely plays a role in why things are becoming a little bit more expensive in the Philippines. So as a place of travel, like as a destination for travelers, Philippines, you know, Southeast Asia, because it's cheap, and of course the DR and all of that stuff, I'm trying to find me another place to go. Like I said, my man is really trying to sell me on Paraguay. I hope I'm saying that way. I hope I'm saying that right. Paraguay or Paraguay. One of the two. I'm pretty much sold on the idea as well, my friend. Shout out to my boy Jason Harris. He says, while here in Davao, do you suggest visiting Samal Island and the night market? Always. Always. Night market, always a great place to go. If you're interested in talking to girls, it might be a little bit difficult, always crowded. Most of the girls hang out in groups, but it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy the night market when I'm in the Philippines, and I encourage my foreigners to do that. But what I also do, Samal Island is if you're into the beach life. That is the closest beach we got. You can go to Mati, Mati, probably about a pretty decent ride, 3 to 5 hours, probably a little bit longer depending on what part of Mati you go to. But they have some beautiful beaches out there too. But Samal Island is a 10-minute ride from Davao City, so it's not really far for you to get to it. So I do recommend you guys check that out if you go to Davao City. It's kind of like a rite of passage too for that particular area. Gogo says, no, dog suggests you stay in your room making love and never going outside. No, we don't have that. We don't live that sex pet lifestyle. It doesn't work that way. Some people can live it. I just can't. I mean, staring at 4 walls or 6 walls, depending on how you look at it, it's just never going to work for me. My man says, just be aware, though. Sometimes there's some undercover cops everywhere. He says, although they don't do something, no, he said, just don't do something stupid, such as wanting underage girls. Please don't. A lot of guys are about that life, and I'm like, bro, you gotta be a little bit smarter than that. Rayman says, El Salvador, you can hang out with all of the MS-13 members. I pass. He said they might show you a good time or maybe kidnap you for ransom. They gonna kidnap the black guy? I ain't worth nothing, but okay. You ain't gonna get much for me. But like I said, I'm thinking about other areas to go to. Of course, I plan on doing my due diligence before I actually make these trips, but these are just thought processes that I think of. I want to go to the place where foreigners don't go. You understand? Like when you come to the Philippines, you have your Manilas, your Cebus, your Davos, the city areas, right? Travel to like if you are courageous enough, travel to the areas these foreigners don't go. You know what I'm saying? Well, Leyte now and Samar, they're starting to get a lot of traction. Leyte and Samar are getting a lot of attraction. That's where most people say you can find these Morena, skin Filipinas. A lot of guys are really calling it. And they'd be like, yeah, if you want to get these girls before they make it to Angeles City, you got to go to Leyte and Samar, these provincial areas. But then you have people who talk about Bohol and Iloilo. And then you have people who talk about, these areas on the outskirts of these cities, the provinces and whatnot, where you can really catch them before they become tainted by what we like to call the westernized mentality that seems to have crept in to the country, that seems to have crept into the Philippines, unbeknownst to a lot of us. But, yeah, not happening. Can I just call you Go-Go? He says ratchet fruit, man, bruh. Dog getting tongue-tied. I'll just call you Go-Go because that's what you told me you used to be. Jedi says that Argentina has a lot of foreigners. They're mostly from Europe. No fun. Pass. I want to go somewhere where foreigners don't go. Like I said, I'm going to get a map of all of the places in South America, and I think that I'm literally going to try to just choose a place that I believe is going to be awesome. Cheaper than your average, but, an awesome place. Italy is played, to my personal opinion, but, there's a lot of places out there that are looking, that are untapped areas. That's what I like to look for. My man says the important fact about the Philippines is most police that are off duty, not working, consider themselves undercover cops who will display and use their badge outside of work hours and get off on it. They truly do. And they either get off on exploiting some foreigners or they get off on the fact that they could arrest you or something or find a way to get something out of you. Those are the bad ones, and it's not all of them. I've never really had that issue in Davao, so I can definitely say thank God for that. My man Zesty says, I suggest going outside of a country and looking for a tiny island that has some people but not many foreigners. There's some not many foreigners. There's some islands you might need an airplane to get to. 100% factual, bro. I'm with you on that one. My boy Jason says, I plan to hit up Cuba and Venezuela. A couple of friends are going in January and February. I heard some good things about these two countries when I lived in Colombia. And I'm definitely hoping that you share that with me. Share your experiences, so at least I have a heads up on what's good. All right, Terry Edwards, he says, how about Mongolia? I want to go to Mongolia. If I was going to any place in Africa, like if I was going to go to a place in the African continent, I would like to go to Rwanda. Don't ask me why, but Rwanda was something that I've always wanted to go to. Like, there's always a place on every continent that I really want to go to. So that would work out for me. MD, Italy does seem like a good place, but it just seems a bit. Now, that place, for some reason, to me, even though I've never been, it just seems played. It doesn't seem like a place that I would feel like I fit in. Maybe I could, but maybe I couldn't. Shout out to my boy Roy, man. What's going on? He says Cambodia is a great country to visit. He said the girls are great there. Wow. I've heard differing opinions on that, but it's good to hear that you had great experiences in Cambodia. I think the guy that we talked about or the places that we talked about was Vietnam, but I did hear that Cambodia is hit and miss depending. But if you said that you had a great time, man, I'm going to take your word for it. And it definitely seems like a place that I would want to check out. There's always a place on every guy's bucket list. So make your bucket list, man, and make it go. He wants to stay at Hotel Rwanda. No, I just want to try to go visit the place. Madagascar. There you go. Let's talk to me, man. Rainman says Buenos Aires. Yeah, is the most European city in South America. Lots of Germans and Italian guys there. Okay, some are there since the end of the World War. Damn, long time, bro. Terry Edwards, if we're going to Antarctica, bro, yeah, dress warmly, my friend. I pass. My man says that Italy is polluted with foreigners from the UK. Nice to visit, but not to stay. Yes, Rain Man. Don Cheadle made the best impression on God's Green Earth. I love Rwanda. Gotta go. Gotta go, man. Jedi. Oh, you talk about Italy. Roy says, yes, I'm here now. If you meet the right girl, it's cool. Like I said, you know what? This is the truth, okay? Here's the issue that, and Roy, you said something that really triggered something in my mind, and I appreciate that. This is what I recommend, and this is what I prefer. As a traveling man, if you're not married and, you're able to find a local girl that could take care of you, show you around, and do what's necessary, and you trust her, and she seems like a trustworthy person, stick with that one girl, and I promise you, your vacation will likely be awesome. A lot of guys have it in their heads, I'm going to go to this country, pertaining specifically to the sex-pat-minded individuals, come to a country, yo, man, I'm going to try to hook up with as many girls as I can. I understand the reasoning for why you want to do that. It's just the way to make yourself feel good about yourself and also come back with some communicable diseases, STDs, preferred, probably. You'd be lucky if you just leave with the clap. but a lot of these guys have it in their head that they want to travel to these countries and hook up with a bunch of women. Of course, we know the types of guys we're talking about. But on the flip side of that, I feel like if you are able to travel to a country, able to get in good with one girl, that one girl can introduce you to a lot of different people. She can make friends for you, or she can introduce you to her inner circle, show you around. And I promise you, stick with that one girl and let her show you the time of your life in whatever area you're in and enjoy it. A lot of guys just have this ideology that you just have to be with a multitude of different women in order to enjoy your vacation. And I'm saying this because I hear guys saying this. This isn't just something that I think personally. I've heard guys with their thought process, man, I'm going to try to get with as many girls as I possibly can. Don't care if I got to pay for it, whatever. But if you do get with one, let her show you around, let her show you a good time. I promise you, you'll probably get more experiences out of that vacation than you would spending 24/7 in your hotel because you can't actually trust the girl to show you anywhere or take you somewhere because you're afraid you're going to get kidnapped or get, somebody's going to take your money or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So Roy, I appreciate you bringing that to my attention because it helped get out a narrative that I think is really false about foreigners in general. But the idea of getting with a good, solid woman that could show you around, even if you're only there for 2 weeks or something, reach out to a couple of girls, say, I'm heading out there, and I definitely want to spend some time with you. And I'm hoping that, you can show me around and we can have some good, have some fun together. I mean, I would hope that you are able to, be intimate if that's what you're looking for. But if it's strictly platonic, let it be that way. Let it be. This girl is just there to be your tour guide. There's nothing wrong with having a tour guide at all. As a matter of fact, I think it really benefits you a whole lot more to have that than, fit in, wing it on your own. Like I said, if I'm going to the DR, I'm going to Colombia, or I'm going to Paraguay, I'm going to shout out to the homie JC Travels. I'm going to be like, bruh, when do you plan on going to these places so I could go with you? Because I would rather go with one of my fellow guy friends to show me around. Because again, if you're locked in with a female, you're like, I'm on lockdown. But, if you go with one of your homeboys or one of like your close guy friends and stuff, you can at least, get it in if you want to. But that person can also show you around as well because they've been there and they've done that. No different than anybody who reaches out to me and say, Doc, if you're in Davao and I'm in Davao, let me link up with you, man. You can show me around or whatever. And I'll be glad to do that. Because I want you guys to have the time of your life if I can show you that, or if I can basically bring you to my area and show you around. But again, if it's not one of your homeboys or your guy friends that are familiar with the area, you might be lucky to link up with one of the expats in the area, maybe a good dude. You might be lucky that way, but most of the time, find you a good one. Just one girl. All it takes, bro. All it takes, just one girl to give you the best experience that you've ever had. And you don't even have to hook up with her. But again, I know these guys, man. They come bagging as many chicks as they possibly can. It kind of ruins the whole vacation, especially if it doesn't work. It doesn't work out the way that you hope that it would. That's kind of what happens. Like I said, guys, we got 28 watching, 26. Appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure you get the likes up on the video. Definitely make sure you caress that like button. Guys, want to support the channel? Please feel free to do so. Of course, the good doc is happy that you come through. Spend some time with him today. Now you're then. Also, guys, check out the masterclass. You guys know what that's about. They should be linked in the description. Probably not, but you know where to find them. Any of my latest videos, you guys can join the masterclass over there. It's completely awesome. I promise you, it's worth every pledge that you put to it. If you guys want to get a copy of my ebooks, you guys know where to find those as well. Linked in the description of my videos. I promise you, if you've never read any of my books, especially the BOOTYLOO Chronicles, I promise you that is the best book of all times. Best book of 2019. Probably going to be the best book of 2020. So if you haven't gotten that book, trust me, you want to read that one. If you don't get any other book, make sure y'all cop the BOOTYLOO Chronicles, man. Yes, Go-Go, that's exactly what I said, and I mean it. Justin, man, I'm glad you were able to catch me live too, bro. Much love to you. Jedi says, I would say go to the rural areas, visit Rome, then go to the countryside. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time in the city part of Italy. But again, if you have a place on your bucket list that you want to go to, let me know, man. I'm definitely intrigued or interested to hear what places you have on your bucket list. We've done this particular topic before a while back, but I want to bring it back. I want to know where you guys are thinking. Give me some place off the beaten path. Give me something different, man. We could say DR. We could say Brazil. Give me your best one. Give me your best one. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Carholler. He said, my man says, oh boy, says dating in Vietnam is not as fun as it is in the Philippines, especially for older gentlemen. Yes, Mr. Carholler, I believe that to be 100% accurate. You ain't got to tell me or sell me on that one. My man Gogo says, Dog, what you mean by introduce you to her inner circle? Yo, you know what? Only you would take that out of context, bro. But that's funny. You know what I meant. Zesty says, I suggest going to Kingsman's Reef and the surrounding island at the Pacific Ocean side. Most are remote and hard, but it's worth it since not many people go there. I'm not trying to disappear or die or anything, so I'm gonna need somebody to go with me. But like I said, the most remote areas are probably the best areas. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys agree, man. Terry Edwards says, I have a place, dog. Go to Estonia. I have it on my list. I'm gonna do my research on that as well. But like I said, man, everybody has a place, bro. Everybody has a place. I want to hear your place. My boy Earl Owen says my homeboy met up with me in Hong Kong, took me to Macau. We had a blast. Exactly. If you have a friend, even better. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a nice girl to take you around and show you a good time for sure. My man Roy says that situation happens to me a lot. If you treat the girl with respect and she likes you, she will give you a good time and travel around with you. Exactly. Most of these girls want, I mean, to be honest with you, most of these girls sometimes, not all the time, sometimes they can't really afford to go to some of the places that, you know, on their own. So to pair with a nice little foreigner that has a little extra that can, you know, show her a good time as well that she may not have been able to see, most girls are appreciative of that. You know, a lot of people don't take that into consideration. A lot of girls appreciate, as long as you respect them, they appreciate what you're able to do for them. So, like I said, if you're on that little 2-week vacation, you have a little extra, and you can bring her along as part of your company, which I do recommend to be a good idea. Not unless you want to live that sexpat life and wing it and pray that things work out. Not unless you want to do that. But like I said, get you one, link up with her, spend some time with her, get her to show you around places that you know she thinks that you would like. Tell her what you're interested in, and especially if she's from the area, oh man, she'll show you around and she'll probably show you a good time. And live life that way, man. Live life through the experiences that you share with the women that you meet on your vacations or the people that you choose to interact with on your vacations. You know, it's the way I like to see it. That's just me. Maybe not everybody. JC says I'm always ready. I travel. He said I travel. Pete my handle. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I'm gonna check you out, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna check the channel out as soon as I get right. But like I said, man, dude, if you've been to Paraguay and you got it in you, hey, I'm willing to go on a trip, man. It just seems like, you know, it just seems good to be able to be with travel-minded people. That's all I could ever say. I enjoy traveling and being around people who love to travel just as much as I do. Shout out to my boy Joshua. What's good, man? He says I might have to find me a tour guide in Manila when I get there. There's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of women will be glad to take you around. Got to be careful now. You got to make sure you choose the right ones. I will say that. Just got to be careful, but shouldn't be that much of a big deal. Shouldn't be hard. My man Roy says, I've been to Madagascar, very poor country, but you will have a unique experience. Like I said, he says Gambia is cool too. Had fun there. Okay. Like I said, we all have traveling experience. And again, if you travel specifically for the women, most of the places that I'm mentioning, you may not be, like my man said, in Madagascar, Rwanda, and places like that. Maybe your chances of hooking up with women may not be in the cards. So if it's not in the cards, don't cry over it. All right. My man Raymond says, is it, I ain't even gonna try that one, bro. Is it God dang it. I can't get that. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to put that one in the spell check. I wish this was like a spelling bee competition. Can I get the country of origin? Can you use it in a definition? Can I get the definition? The country of origin? Can you use it in a sentence? Because I do not know how to pronounce that one, bro. My man Zesty says, to be honest, is there still islands for sale in the Philippines? Some foreigner can buy that if they need help. Just visit the island. It'll be helpful if someone does that. If they buy an island and just help people out, sounds awesome. Jedi, man, much love to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. My boy Raphael Williams in the building. What's going on? Rain Man, I am not going to try to pronounce that one either. Juan Rivas, he says, best place to visit is my house. Shout out to you, bro, man. Appreciate you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc, man. It's good to be around people with such positive energy. I like that shit. It makes me happy, and it definitely makes me excited to knock out these live streams for my people, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's about 9:38 in the p.m. Eastern Standard. Didn't do the time check. Don't know what you guys got going on, but I'm not going to keep you on very long, all right? My man, Mr. Carhollis says, Dr. Mike, how was your brother doing in Japan with the women? That I wish... I mean, I know the answer to that one, but let's just say he's doing okay. He's doing a whole lot better than, you would expect somebody to do. But he approaches the game a little bit different than I would. So the way he does it, is he's a very outspoken, talkative, energetic type person. To be honest, outside of YouTube, I'm very low key. I'm not really one to jump on and holler at every girl that I see. But my boy, he got it in him. So, hey, he does all right in Japan. Shout out to my boy MD, man. Appreciate you coming through and showing love. All right. So yeah, he's doing very well in Japan with the women. And if I get a chance to go there, we're gonna do the interview of a lifetime. Joshua says his tour guide has to be a dime. Well, I wouldn't want her to be ugly. I mean, if you're gonna make a choice, at least choose somebody who looks pleasant enough for you. All right. No problem finding good women in Madagascar. That's what's up. So my man says it's pronounced Mauritius. Mauritius. Okay, good God Almighty, bro. You make that shit. Good shit, bro. And he says it's called Djibouti. Okay. I appreciate that, Djibouti. Hey, man, that is the easiest way for me to get it. Thank you. Make it. You got to simplify it for me because I'm not gonna lie. My mouth can't form certain words. All right. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming through and spending time with the good doc. Not going to hold you very long. Thank you guys for being here. Likes up on the way in, likes up on the way out. I'm going to give my shout outs real quick. If you want your name shouted out, please feel free to leave it in the chat box. Even those 25 that are listening in the background, come on now. Come on now. You can feel free to participate. This is a judgment-free zone, all right? If you're lurking and listening, it's okay. I got you. Make sure you give a like. That's all that I ask for, okay? But if you don't want to shout out, then you can just sit there and listen to me shout these people out. If you got places to be, you can go ahead and call it, all right? So shout out to my boy Rain, man. Appreciate you. MD. Roy, thank you for having a great conversation with us today. Joshua, always a pleasure, man. My boy Mr. Carhall, appreciate you. My boy Juan Rivas, good to see you in the building. Jedi, I know he's gone. My boy Raphael Williams, appreciate you. My boy Zesty, that's what I'm calling you. If I'm wrong, please correct me. JC Travels, man, let's link up, man. We gotta do some shit. Earl Owens, all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Much love to you, bro. Who else we got? I'm gonna get to my people right now. Justin Roach, appreciate you. My boy Gogo, he changed his name, but I see you, family. I'm gonna get you guys at the bottom once I scroll back down. Joshua, my boy Jason Harris, I'm sorry, bro. Appreciate you being here. Terry Edwards, appreciate you, my G. The homie Edward Crandell, appreciate you coming through. Scuba Tom, always a pleasure, bro. Hope that you enjoy your trip to Davao very, very soon. Tommy's Philippines journey, appreciate you. JC, man, appreciate the support too, my brother. I'm not overlooking that. Appreciate that. Reggie Coleman, always a pleasure, man. MD, my boy Eddie Jackson, appreciate you coming through. And how you doing? MD, I know that's your lady. Appreciate y'all coming through. My boy Reggie Dollars, always a pleasure, man. DE, much love to you, bro. Always good to see you in the building. That's my OG right there. Reggie Coleman and my boy Reggie Dollars. I wanted to make sure I got both of y'all. Alaskan Whiskey, I hope that you enjoyed the show. Hope you stayed around long enough, bro. It's a rough one. Quentin Willis, appreciate you being here. My boy Smooth Rivs, Frederick Mason from the great state. And then, of course, my boy NY Mets fan. Much love to you people. I love y'all, man. This shit's too much fun for me. I'm getting too old, guys. I can't be doing these live streams like I used to, but I'm still going to try to crank them out. So my man Juan wants me to shout out to his boy. He said, I'm giving a shout out to my boy. Is it Corrido? I'm trying to make sure I say that right. If I said that wrong, my bad. Don't come shooting at me. Please don't. My man Terry says, try explain that if you get stuck in Djibouti. He's like, where are you at? I'm in Djibouti. He's like, where? Djibouti. In Djibouti. In Djibouti. Yeah, I think if I got stuck in Djibouti, we would have some problems. Lee Smith, man, appreciate you, man. Always love, bro. Always love, man. Oh, man, you guys are stupid. Jared, much love to you, boy. Sam Juan, I see you in the building, family. He said, I'm going to hit you up in your IG DMs, man. All right, JC, man, y'all do that. I'm always checking my IG. We got that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real, ladies and gentlemen. It truly has. But you know what time it is. It is time for the good doc to go. So with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least knuckle. Which means I'm going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Maal kita. Bye-bye. Peace.